Now I'm going to show you how you can use taking roots to undo exponents in equations and solve for x, or whatever your variable happens to be. So remember that whenever we had an x squared, when we talked about quadratics, we talked about the fact that a square root was an opposite of squaring something, and so that those two functions would undo each other. And the same thing is true for higher exponents as well. So let me show you what this looks like. If I want to solve 6x to the third is equal to -6, the first thing I would do is I would go ahead and divide by 6 to get the x to the third isolated by itself. So the 6's will cancel, and I'm left with x to the third is equal to, well, -6 divided by 6 is just going to be a -1. And now I want to figure out what x is. I know what x to the third is, but I want to know what x is. And so in order to undo a third power, I can take the third root. But if I do that on one side, I have to do it on the other side too. So I need to take the third root of -1. The third root and the third power are going to cancel. That's the purpose of doing this, is that those are opposites of each other. And so I'm going to get x is equal to, well, let's think about this for a minute. We have our n is odd. And anytime we have odd, we know that we're only going to have one real root. And so if we have -1 and we take the third root of it, most of you will probably think about that for a minute and realize that our answer is going to be -1. But let me show you how to do it in the calculator, just in case it doesn't come to you right away. All right, here we are in our Desmos calculator again, and I want to select the nth root function. I want to say the third root of -1. And we can see that our answer is -1, just as we reported in the notes. Let's go ahead and box this as a final answer before moving on to our next example.